What up, everybody? It's your man Danelle, aka Small Guy Promotions, aka the Omaha Fatty, coming with another podcast episode of What's Up, Omaha. Happy Sunday, guys. Man, I hope you're enjoying the weekend. We did get some decent weather. The weather's been going back and forth. It's been kind of crazy. 63 one day, and then 30s and snow flurries the next day, and then another chilly day, and then the day after that, flurries. And it's just like, come on, bro. Like, even right now, my heat has been kicking on. So I don't know, but whatever. Friday was a beautiful day. Saturday was a beautiful day. Friday was cool. It was nice enough where hung out with some friends outside, socially distanced, of course. Fire pit going, so that was cool. We'll get into that more on another episode, but yeah, man, Saturday was a little chilly, but it was okay. And Saturday is actually what I want to talk about. So, of course, Small Guy Promotions and Omaha Fatty each are one and the same pretty much, right? But Omaha Fatty just focuses strictly on food. 99% of it is supporting local. That's what I really believe in, community, and followers know, people who support know that it's about community, man, and leaving good impressions, and just figuring out how to leave a positive imprint. Just if I were to die today, what would people remember? What would my kids remember? I started my businesses for a few different reasons. One major factor was my dad passing away, and then I also wanted to help people, and I wanted to show my kids how to go through life and help people, and try to spread joy and enjoy life. There was a period of time where I used to just be a guy who sat around and complained about how bad things were. And I made a conscious effort to no longer do that, and to actually use the power that I have to make some kind of change. I've talked about it before, and, I still complain. I still complain about things, but over the years, I've been more active in trying to do things to combat all the negative in the world, and, in our communities. And, I just do what I can do. And I try to lead by example for my kids, so that they see that they have the power to an extent to, change the world. That's what, if you've seen the What's Up Omaha design, that's the whole goal of that design, is putting the city on your back and saying, I got you. And it's not about being a superhero, though. It's about each individual doing their own part to make a difference. We can all put our communities on our backs, and we can all come together and make a difference and make a change. And, we just got to keep moving forward, no matter how much negativity and darkness and evil there is out there. We just got to keep trying to be stronger, and keep pushing more and more and more positivity. I've said that I didn't want kids when I was younger because the world is so evil. And that's what I thought for a long time. I was like, man, I don't want to have kids, man. If the world is bad enough right now, what's it going to be in the future? and that's not the way to live. So yeah, man, we try to make a difference in whatever way we can, however small the impact is. It's still a move in the right direction. um, but yeah, man, I'm saying all this to say community, that's what it's about, man. Community. So I'm out here supporting where I can, and trying to. It's kind of hard because I'm a big smiler, and we got these masks on, so people can't see your smile. They can see it in your eyes and whatnot, but they can't see your smile. And man, I'm out there trying to give smiles, and that's why in the each and every podcast saying smile, help someone else smile, laugh and help someone else laugh all day, every day, because when you smile, it feels so good. It feels good to smile. It feels good to laugh. Who doesn't like to do those things? So, the masks make it a little harder. But the intent is still there. And when you can hear someone's voice, you know what it is. And sometimes you can actually see the smile creases through the mask. So, but yeah, man, community. I'm out here supporting local as I can. And the interaction that I had with Andrew, I'm shouting you out, Andrew. You told me you listened to all the podcasts. So, Andrew at Hans Golden Dragon in Bellevue, Nebraska. Number one, I used to go to Hans back in the day when I was in high school. Um, really enjoyed the food there. That was like one of the main Chinese places that I would go to eat in my later high school days. And then they closed down, and I was lost for a while when it came to having a home for a Chinese restaurant. And we found one place that was on 60th and Center. I think it was like Hunan Garden or something like that, and they closed. We were going there for years. And then there's a little place off of 36th and Harrison over by that Walgreens, a little kind of divey type place. I can't remember the name, but we used to go and eat there from time to time. They had really good sweet and sour chicken, but that wasn't really our home. Like, I wanted a home, like a regular spot for Chinese. And that's when I found Golden Bowl. Golden Bowl was cool. If you follow, you know the story behind that. Love Golden Bowl. Those are my people, man. Been down with them since they opened in Bellevue, and I've been committed to them, and for however many years, just because they were so great. Like, I didn't really want to eat anywhere else, and then I started helping them with their social media. So then even more, I was like, I'm 10 toes Golden Bowl. But I did let John know this year. I said, hey, man, there's so many different places that people keep telling me about that, like, and John doesn't care. He's like, yeah, man, go to different places. But it was just a me thing, like, because Golden Bowl is my home. But so many people keep telling me about different places, and Hans Golden Dragon is one. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to start checking out some other Chinese restaurants. And, Hans actually has Korean food as well. So it's not even the same thing. But I went there, and Andrew came out. Like, well, first off, I called on the phone. My youngest daughter, we took her to banh mi because she had been wanting banh mi. But I had been wanting to try Hans. So we went to banh mi, got her a sandwich, got some drinks over there. And while my wife and daughter were inside banh mi ordering, I called up Hans, and I was like, yeah, let me get this. Andrew was the one I spoke with on the phone. Super cool, nice. Asked if I had any questions about the menu and whatnot. I did try to get the I always say it wrong, the bibim bam, however you say it. I always say it wrong. I always, say it funny, like bippity boppity boo. But no, bye. Love you. Uh, my wife and daughter going to church. Uh, but yeah, man, he was super cool on the phone. Said it was going to be about 10 minutes. I'm like, don't worry about it. We're already out here. We're waiting. Cool. So my wife and daughter were still inside behind me. I had the windows down in the car. I didn't have my mask on because I thought it was going to be a little longer. But food came out with the quickness. So as he came to my window, I went and grabbed my mask and threw my mask on. And like Andrew, like at this point, he blew my mind. He goes, I know who you are. And like he was super excited. And I was like, yo, it's so funny, man. Like, oh man, so we talking, nice to meet you. And uh he had told me that I had just missed the rush because they were like backed up like 45 minutes. So we called at the right time. And yeah, man, we had like probably a 10-minute conversation. And we just talked about community and his restaurant and him saying the same thing as John. Like, you know, as long as you're going out and supporting local, it doesn't matter where you eat. Like, you know, we're not really in competition with other restaurants. We just want you to support local. So that was a cool thing and a cool perspective to hear from another business owner, restaurant owner as well. Because a lot of people think, oh, it's similar foods. They got to be in competition with the other place, But no, we need to understand that like there's enough. On what I say about food, I know it's the Omaha fatty, but there's enough for everybody to eat. Same thing with the restaurants, man. Yes, we have a lot of restaurants, but if you are serving a good enough product, your service is good, and whatever else, people will come and seek you out. Sometimes, especially now with the pandemic, it's a little harder sometimes, and places have closed for different reasons, not just their food or service. But yeah, you just focus on you and do the best that you can do, and people will get it. They will see it. Like Omaha Fatty, Small Guy Promotions. I've been doing this stuff, and I've tried. Like last week, the podcast was talking about consistency. If you do it consistently, people will eventually take notice if you're doing it right. And so for him to come out and say, "I know you," like I know he has messaged, like commented on posts that I've made on Omaha Fatty on Facebook, and I didn't know who he was. It's from the Hans Golden Dragon page, and I didn't know the person behind the computer and who I was chatting with, and the messages that I had received from Hans was, "Hey, love what you're doing, love that you're supporting local," and it was never like, "Hey, you got to come out here, try our food," or anything like that. It was just, "Hey, we love to see that you're supporting local." So I wanted to take some time and highlight that, not only Hans Golden Dragon, but the thought of community and supporting local. Like, just do what you're doing. Like, stop being worried about what other people are doing. Like, there's so many different ideas and concepts and opinions about things. Like, you can't be worried. And we talked about this too, about the dining in thing. A lot of places are opening up to dining in right now. But Hans isn't opened up right now. Golden Bowl isn't opened up right now. And people, they're contacting these places and asking about when dining is going to open. And they're like, oh, you should, like, customers are trying to tell these restaurants when they should open up. Like, that's cool for you to have an opinion on that, and for you to want to dine in, but you can't tell this restaurant that they need to open up. Like, they have made the decision for their business that at this time, the best thing for them is to remain to have the dining room closed, but do carry out and curbside or delivery or whatever they're doing. And we talked about how people get upset about that when you're not dining in, and it's like, it doesn't matter what they do. They can choose to open up now, and then there's going to be people who are mad because they open up now. So, these restaurants and these businesses have to do what they feel is best for themselves, for their businesses to thrive. And, if people aren't down with it, they're not down with it. Like, you can't please everybody, and you would go crazy if you tried to do that, because everybody's gonna, or there's always gonna be somebody that has something to say that goes against whatever it is that you're doing. No matter how great you are, there's gonna be somebody that has something negative to say. I mean, you see it on social media, all these, as they call them, keyboard warriors who, there will be a post about something totally like not negative and it's coming from a positive place, and then somebody will come in the comments and say something ugly. Like, there's just people out there that are like unhappy for whatever reason, and they try to project that onto other people. So it's going to be what it's going to be. Again, you can only focus on the things that you can control. And uh you know if people don't like it, they don't like it. It's like, hey, we would love to make you happy. Our goal is to make everyone happy, but we understand that that's almost impossible to do. There's no way that we're going to please everybody. So to the restaurants or whoever that has decided to, keep your stores or your doors closed for right now, if that's what you said is the right thing for your business, keep doing it. There'll be a lot of people out there that will support you. There'll probably be some people who won't support you, whatever. So to those people, I would say, hey, please just be patient with these places. Like, you don't want anyone telling you what to do. Please don't tell other people what to do. Like, that's what it boils down to. Um, that's what I see a lot. I feel like people want to like bark and tell others what they should be doing, but when someone tells them, like, they don't want people telling them what to do. They just want to be the one telling everybody else what to do, and that's not the way it works. Like, just in life in general, you know, people want to control how other people live. Like, well, I don't know why that's a thing. Like, if someone's over there, whether I agree or believe in the way that they live, it's not up to me to decide how that person lives, how they choose to live. As long as they're not like committing crimes and hurting people, why do I care? Oh, that person's gay. I don't care. Oh, that person's this. I don't care. Like, you, it's just so much negativity out there, man. So like, people are just thriving on that for some reason. And Andrew and I talked about it, like, right now, seeing like the Asian hate. And for me, like, uh, a generalization for me is that Asian people are usually some of the nicest people around, most respectful people around. And I'm not saying that every Asian person is that way. Of course not. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that I don't know. I've never been in an experience. And I know people say that, you know, sometimes when like Koreans own a store or something, they look at black people when they come in the store or whatever, the whole you break, you buy, or or you buy or leave or whatever. And yes, that may happen, but I'm saying overall, like, at least in my experiences, I love Asian people, man. Love Asian people. Dude, I used to want to, like, I thought I was going to marry like an Asian woman, like, because I just loved Asian people so much growing up. And I don't know, like, I don't understand how people can just have so much ill will and anger towards a whole group of people. And, of course, they have white people, black people, racism. Yeah, that's, it. I just don't get it. In no parts do I understand that. Uh, people are people, and that's the thing about community. Like, for us to advance as a community, we have to understand. Yes, we have differences. Yeah, like, being a community doesn't mean that everybody is the same. Being a community is recognizing the differences and accepting those differences, instead of using those differences as a way to push each other further away from each other, the other person. Like, that's the difference. Community, you're like, okay, cool. We don't have to vibe on all levels, but I respect you. And, for the good of the community, let's build this bridge instead of burn it down. Community, 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 man. That's what it's about. I was also at Stoicage yesterday, and I spoke with Tracy. I always speak with Tracy when I'm in Stoicage, 52nd and Q, 51st and Q. Um, man, she comes out. We talk for. They were a little busy, so we didn't talk as long as we normally talk. But we go and we have conversations for 20, 30 minutes sometimes. And she even said to me yesterday that there's something about my personality that just makes it easy for people to talk to me, and I get that a lot. I don't know what it is, but it's been something, some kind of aura or vibe that I've given off for many years and never understood it, and I didn't appreciate it when I was younger. But again, man, it's about community, and whether it's a business owner or not, like just taking time to sit with people and talk, and that's a big thing with the pandemic and not being able to do that. It's so different. Like I miss it. Don't get me wrong, and I say this too. Like people classified me as a germaphobe a long time ago, years ago, since I was a teenager. But I've never considered myself a germaphobe. Like I say I'm a nastyophobe. Like I see people do nasty-ish, and I don't want to be a part of that. Like I used to eat at buffets, and so I saw people like licking their fingers and stuff, and then going back up to the buffet and like touching the stuff. I'm like, I'm not trying to get down with that. Uh, so like the pandemic for me, on one hand, it's like, yeah, I'm not around people, and having that interaction. But then again, I'm like, it's just less stress. And sometimes it's more stress because I got to think about like the kids and where you going, who you going to be around, are they going to have masks on? I don't know. And it's not even about the pandemic so much because it's about the people and seeing people be nasty before a pandemic. Like people have been nasty. Like, so I don't trust people to not go out into public when they have COVID. People keep saying, COVID's the survival rate, blah, 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 blah. COVID's not that bad, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. And I, to an extent, I believe that COVID indeed may not be that bad. But the thing is, you have these people who go out in the public knowing they have COVID and they spread it. So it's not necessarily about two people being out in the public that each of them don't have COVID, but it's about the person that either has it and knows it and they just don't care, or the person who doesn't know that they have it and they've just been out and about and spreading it around. So yes, COVID may not be that big of a thing, but we totally help it grow. That's what I believe, because you ever have that coworker who's like sick and they still come to work and they're coughing all over and stuff, whatever, and it's like, bro, why are you here? Like, go home. Like, or like, and this is one thing that I've said before, like I've been at work and seen people in the bathroom, in the restroom, and they go into the stall and they poop finger all on the booty hole if they wipe. And they, you'll be at the urinal or something and people will be in the stall and they do what they do and then they walk out without washing their hands. There's always one instance that I specifically remember being at work where a person was in the stall doing their business. I was at the urinal. I heard and felt them walk past me, assuming that they were going to go to the sink, and they did not. No water was run, and we have hand sanitizer in the restrooms at work too, and I didn't hear any hand sanitizer either. And after I get done and I wash my hands and I go out, I go to the break room. Who is the first person that I see in the break room touching on the coffee machine? Like, and just being around people, the more I'm around people, the more I understand that people are nasty. So I don't trust people to stay away from other people when they have COVID. Like someone said to my wife, I've got COVID, but I only have this symptom and this symptom. Should I reschedule my appointment? Yeah, you have COVID. You should not go into a public place for a hair appointment or a massage appointment or whatever it is. Or like you have my daughter, my oldest daughter, who overheard a kid talking about getting a COVID test, but he was at school. And then 2 days later, the school sent out an email saying that there were more students that tested positive for COVID. And guess what? This person was one of the people who had a positive test. But for whatever reason, knowing that you took a COVID test and you're waiting on the results, you still go to school to be around people. And half of when I've gone to these school functions and stuff, half of these kids that people keep saying masks don't work. If you have COVID and you don't properly wear a mask and you sneeze on someone or in an area, yeah, the mask is not gonna work. But if you are out in half of the kids when they that I see when they have a mask on, it's either like this or it's like this. And so, yeah, those masks don't work because they don't work when they're like this or like this. So I just always wonder for people who are against the masks, if a person had COVID, would you want them to come by you and sneeze? If you don't have COVID, it's not that big of a deal, but you don't know who has COVID. That's the thing. And then you have the people who go out who they're not sure if they have COVID, but they've taken a test and they're waiting on results. But in that time, they're still going out into the public. Again, yes, masks may not be the solution. It's not meant to be a solution. It's meant to help. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm not mad in that aspect. I'm not mad about not being around people. I'm cool with being at home. I'm cool with not going to work. So that's the one thing about community that is kind of had a drop, is not being able to have those interactions and those social gatherings. Yeah, it's tough on everybody. Nobody likes it. I don't think there's one person out there that's like, yeah, COVID, yeah. Anyway, man, community. The word for the day, children, is community. Community. Understanding that you have differences from someone else, but not letting those differences tear you each apart. I mean, and I'm not talking about differences like you got a neighbor who's like, look at that colored boy over there. He deserves to be whatever. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about differences. And even if there is a person like that, whatever, dude, just don't come by me. That's the type of community I'm not trying to be involved in, but you can, whatever, if that's what your ignorant thoughts are, let them be your ignorant thoughts. Just don't come over by me. I accept that you have a different thought process and for whatever reason you don't like whoever. That's cool. Just stay over there. Don't come by me. We don't want any drama over here. And yeah, we don't want any problems. That's not how we're getting down. But community, man, that's the word for the day. So I leave y'all with that. Shout out to Andrew. Shout out to Hans Golden Dragon. And thoughts to their family for their recent loss. We talked about it, and we just got to keep going on. I talked about it with him, with the loss of his grandfather, and Tracy with the loss of her mother last year. It's just coming up on a year, or it's just been a year, she said. And we just got to keep figuring out a way to go on. My father-in-law passed recently. So it's so easy to die. It's so easy to die. You could step off the curb wrong. You could, as we talked about, you could not wake up from your sleep. There's so many ways that you could die, but people keep pushing the envelope on creating death, shootings and all this other stuff. And it's just crazy to think that life is short and we don't understand that. A lot of us don't understand that, and they just don't spend their time wisely here on earth. I don't know. I just hope that people can somehow, I know that's just how life is, man. There's going to be people out there who are, I don't know, just fixated and focused on the bad. So we got to keep going forward and working hard and trying to, you know, trying to make that negativity go decrease as much as possible. Yeah, man. You guys have a wonderful day. Go and eat some good food. Enjoy your family or whatever it is that you enjoy doing, and just smile. Help someone else smile. Laugh and help someone else laugh all day, every day. Peace out. Yeah.